Too Brute?
If the shade comes in, I'm gonna stop and sing immediately.
Whatever we're doing.
Yeah. The camera's right. The camera's right. I feel like it's on our knee. Keith, are these two lights different, or are they just dimmed differently?
They are. I forgot. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh.
Hey.
Okay.
We should get the multicolored LEDs.
Yeah.
Change
I
them.
put some in my kitchen,
They're amazing.
and they're cool.
Yeah.
Are we on them, by the way? We're on, I assume.
You're on.
Okay.
I don't know. He doesn't tell us.
Well, I feel like he does. Maybe we just don't listen.
That's impossible. Don't be silly.
Hello, friends. How are you? It is November 4th,
Yes, it is.
which means we're no longer looking forward to November 3rd, which we can all, regardless of how we are feeling about things this morning, we can all celebrate that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, come on, give it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yes.
Real quickly before we dive in, Pastor Amy brought questions
I
today.
did.
A couple things. I'm going to mention these in the newsletter as well. But is the audio coming through okay, by the way?
Yes.
Okay.
Audio's good.
Okay. Worship Sunday. We had Worship Sunday.
It was great.
And it was good. We had questions. We didn't know, how many people are going to come and all of that. And it ended up working out really nicely, I thought. I felt pretty safe. I felt like we, as church, we worked the safety plan that we had together. And I think that helped me for one, and I think a lot of people feel safer about being here. We had, if you're curious, if you didn't come and you kind of wanted to see how things were going to play out, we had pretty close to 50 people here at 9, pretty close to 50 people here at 11, which meant really about 40 in the pews spaced out. People wore their masks, and so we had about 100 people here. We had another 150 or so watch via live stream, which continues to be a good option as well. So anyway, just wanted to give you a quick rundown on kind of how that went. Tell us what's happening, Austin, on Sunday this week at 12:30.
Yeah, for sure. This Sunday, 12:30, we are going to start our 12:30 outdoor service. We heard from a lot of you that, yeah, yay! Insert loud crowd applause, laugh track, whatever.
I did not have ready. I should have been ready.
Yeah. So 12:30 on this Sunday afternoon, we're going to start doing our outdoor service. A lot of you expressed interest in still doing something outdoors. A lot of us found that meaningful, and it's just really nice to be outdoors together and to worship together. So we're going to keep doing it, and it's going to be a little bit more low-key than it was.
It's going to be a lot
more low-key than it was, yes.
It's going to be me and Austin
Right.
jamming on a guitar, and you're welcome to come.
Yeah.
That's right. Basically, we're just going to sit around. Heath and I are going to jam, and
What
we're
are
going
you
to
going to
sing.
play?
I'm going to play my ukulele. We're going to see how it goes.
Great.
It's
I've
going
been
to
hearing Austin
great. We'll see how it goes.
practice. Communion.
We'll have communion, yes.
Disciples.
Obviously. We'll have a short word where we can spend some time in conversation about the text and just sitting with each other. It's going to be a great space for kids to be able to run around, bring your lunch. It's going to be really laid back, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good time.
We are going to wear the robes, right?
Definitely no robes.
Bathrobe.
You wear your bathrobes. I mean,
Whatever.
yeah, you do you.
It's informal.
You do.
It's informal.
No,
Please wear
no,
something.
no
Please wear
technology.
something.
Yeah, please wear something. No technology, though.
No tech. Yep.
Just simple, right? Informal,
Yeah.
casual.
Yeah, we're hoping that maybe when it starts getting cold, we can get Heath to make us a fire out there or something. We'll sit around the fire pit, maybe have s'mores on an afternoon. I know that's crazy.
All right.
I'm just thinking that way.
We will still have 9, we will still have 11,
Mhm.
and we're going to have 12:30. And I think Amy very scientifically described the circumstances under which we would potentially cancel. So I think how did you put it? We would do this service unless the weather
Is ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Watch out for that ridiculous weather.
So if you go outside and you're like, this is ridiculous. Why would I sit outside in this? Then don't come.
Then we're not going to do it. Yeah, we will probably have said the same thing.
Right,
About it.
right. Yeah.
So yeah, probably like if it's above 40 degrees,
Yeah.
if it's not pouring rain, if it's not driving wind,
Yeah.
then we'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we risk like our toddlers blowing away, we're not gonna... Time down. Hold this rock, kid.
So maybe I didn't think about this before. We need a specific mechanism for letting people know. So what do we say if by
Noon.
well, that's not going to give people enough time if they're going to like be leaving their houses
Yeah,
and getting
that's true.
dressed and everything to come. So probably by like 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, after
After
the first
first
service.
So maybe by 10:30.
Okay.
By 10:30 on Sunday morning, we will send out
Unless you hear from us, we're doing
before.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If we're canceling it, we would let you know by
10:30 on
There you
Sunday
go.
morning.
Yep.
Very
And
good.
maybe we can start a text group too for those who come.
Yeah.
Like we can add it in every time so that then they can get a text.
Yeah.
If
We'll
somebody
figure it out.
shows up at 12:30 and they didn't think it was ridiculous and everyone else
Did?
did,
That's okay.
I can assure you I'm crazier than anyone that will show up.
Oh, that sounds like a challenge. Can you
I'll
see
go
him out
out.
there like playing his
I'll
guitar?
sing Amazing Grace
Nice.
for 30 minutes.
If there is an ice storm, Heath will stand outside with you and sing Amazing Grace for 30 minutes.
And I'll say, that's ridiculous. I'll sit in here
Amy
and
will
say,
watch from her window and discuss the ridiculousness of the situation.
I'll judge you from
I'm
inside.
like, here's a question. At what temperature would those little prepackaged communion things freeze?
Right?
Right? At what temperature?
I don't
would
know. I don't think they freeze. They're so far fermented.
Right?
They're basically wine.
Come on.
Just keep it in your pocket. It'll be
Dan Sheffel was here at 11 on Sunday, sitting right over there. And after the service, he said, Justin, I have a question about these communion elements. He said, is this bread? Is this the actual bread? That's like from the first century that Jesus used. That's how bad it is.
It's not good.
It's not good. The irony is that the other The other one that we tried, we sampled 2 different brands, and the other one was far worse.
We had a wine tasting.
Far worse.
Communion sampling.
Yeah, but I said yesterday in our meeting that one day I was doing the communion meditation and I popped the little wafer in, and it's basically like a really thin rice cake.
Yeah.
I think it's rice.
Yeah.
And it
Or
just
cardboard.
stuck to the roof of my mouth. And I couldn't,
Is it still there?
no. But I was like, kind of almost gagging and if you were listening, my voice was kind of, because I couldn't, all I could think of was communion in my mouth. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So we hope to see you Sunday. You know, in person at 9, in person at 11, in person at 12:30, or live stream is still fine too.
Yeah.
We're not going to live stream 12:30, but yeah, 9 or 11. If that is what is most comfortable for you now, we continue to celebrate that. And man, I got to tell you, so Austin and I were cracking up on Monday because we pulled up some pieces of worship from this past Sunday at 9, and the praise team was stellar.
They were
Mhm.
so
I thought they
good.
were
Yeah.
incredible, but there was one piece in particular that I emailed out this week that where Josh opened it with a solo, and then Russell sang a solo, and Deshae was playing, and it was so good, and it sounded so good coming through the live stream. And then we opened up worship for March 15th, which was the first day that we were live stream only 8 months ago. And we just kept going back and forth, and laughing like 4-year-olds at how far we've come.
Yeah.
So,
Long ways.
who do we have to thank for that? A lot of people, but especially Heath Ramsey. You've just been you. You've just been doing what you do and being who you are.
Rocking it.
Yep.
This is true.
All right, Pastor Amy, what you got for us?
Okay, the first question is, how late did you stay up last night?
Oh, no.
I got an answer for that. So my wife and I agreed. We watched together last night. We put on I think ABC, and then of course we had our phones and 4 or 5 other things open that we were following.
4 or 5.
And we agreed that we knew that this was not going to be decided last night. It's like we got busy days tomorrow. She asked me, "What time are you going to stop?" And I said 10:30. And so at 10:30, she turned off the TV, and I got ready for bed, brushed my teeth, all that. Got into bed at like 10:45, 10:50. And then I thought, you know what, let me just check my phone one more time, just to kind of see where things are. And I put it down at 2:35. So 2:35.
All right.
My answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I love statistics, and so beside just the political ramifications, which I find interesting, I just love sort of the interesting statistical stuff
Yep.
going on,
Yep.
and the movement of numbers and all that, and how they compare to polls and stuff. So, so yeah, that I just got sucked in.
Mm-hmm.
I was up until about 11:30, but I didn't really watch much. I only followed some statistics on my phone because, unlike Justin, I am not a statistics person. So I
This is a
followed loosely, paid attention to the sibling group text that I was getting pretty regular updates on, and I was in bed by 11:30. So, yeah,
for you. You're so responsible.
I know, yeah.
Guys.
Grown up.
I try.
We have at least one person like that up here, right?
Right. Somebody gotta keep it together. So I assumed my husband would stay up because he too is a numbers guy and reads a lot and likes to think about different scenarios. But about midnight he was like, I'm going to bed. And I was wide awake. So I only had 3 devices. TV, iPad, phone, But it turns out, I'm horrible at math. barely passed, like, my college algebra class. But then I found statistics, and I aced it. Like, I was the curve breaker. I love statistics. Freaking love them. And I didn't even know we had this in common, but it makes sense, like, that you do. Doesn't make sense that I do, or that they make sense to me, but they do. Like, I just get it. And I stayed up till, well, I turned off the TV at about 2:45, and then I just lay there on the couch. I was like, if I go in, I know I'm gonna wake up Christian. I'm just gonna. So I probably went to sleep about 3:15, and then I was up again at. I turned the TV back on at 6:30. So it was a short night. Yeah, I know. It's weird. I do it every 4 years. You know, that's all. Whether you do it or not. So I'm tired and real dingy. Like, I'm not gonna make sense. This is my disclaimer. Yeah.
You know what else was amazing to me this morning? So, our men's prayer group that meets on Wednesday morning, which, by the way, anybody is invited to, and that includes women. Like, it's always sort of historically been all men, but there's no reason why a woman could not come if they wanted to, and we've had that in the past. So anybody can come. It's we do a devotional at 7:30, but the group tends to gather. Some of them I think are there by like 6 or 6:15. I'm always the last one to arrive, or typically, and I get there about 7:15. So they just hang out in the gathering area, spread out distance, and just talk. The way that Jim Oglesby put it to me years ago, he said we get together and tell stories. Every once in a while, one of them is true.
That's great.
But anyway, I was thinking, last night, the whole country staying up late, watching things, like, we might have half. No, they were all there.
All there.
They were all there. They were all there on New Year's Day at 6:30 in the morning.
No.
So,
Cats.
one of our steadiest,
Ridiculous.
most consistent, ridiculously consistent ministries that we've had. They've been doing this for 25 years.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Every Wednesday, rain or shine. I think we would not meet on Christmas the following Wednesday, but that's probably it.
Wow.
So
All right.
they were there.
Good for them. I was awake, I guess.
They could have been there.
All right, next question. Just something kind of fun. What would you rather do? Jump out of a plane or hang glide off a cliff?
In the first
With
situation,
parachute.
do you have a parachute?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Detail. I told you I wasn't going to make sense.
Which, otherwise, would you rather go hang gliding or plummet to your death?
Yeah.
Right. Hard choice.
I have done one of those two. I've jumped out of an airplane before.
Same.
You've done it too?
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. There, I answered my question.
Perfectly good airplane. Here in Granbury, as a matter of fact. I don't know if they still do this, but at the airport here, there's a company where you can skydive. Thank you. I'm like, if I talk long enough, come to me or Austin will tell me. And it was a first date.
Hey.
It was not with my eventual wife.
Didn't work out.
No,
Didn't work out.
didn't work out.
Is that because you took her to jump
No, I
out
don't
of
think
a
so.
plane?
I think she was,
Bye.
yeah. No, it was pretty awesome because it was a beautiful day here in Granbury. We went all the way up to 10,000 feet. It was cool. It was really cool. I was invigorated for like 2 weeks
I've heard that that's true.
from that.
Yeah. One of my best friends is like a master diver. She has almost 500 dives, and she said it is this natural high. She's sort of addicted to it now.
Yeah. I don't know what your experience was, but I was surprised by the experience because, so obviously, the first step, jumping out of the plane, is really hard and weird. And for a couple seconds, you feel like you're falling, but then you don't anymore. You feel like you're flying because you're so high above the ground, like. It's not like it feels like the ground is rushing toward you. So there's nothing, I think it's because there's just like no point of reference to it. Like you just feel like you're flying. But then my favorite part was once I was of course attached to an instructor, right? And so he's the one who pulled the cord. He asked me if I wanted to. I said, no, I'm good. You
Not screwing
got
that up.
And pulls the cord, and that's kind of violent actually at first. But then after that, so peaceful.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to hang glide though, for sure. You know what's really, have you watched wingsuit jumpers?
Oh, like the flying squirrel people?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel
That's the
sorry for their
crazy one.
mothers.
That is the crazy one to me.
That is.
They like fly through like little holes in the rocks and stuff.
They're right. Now that is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Okay, so you kind of answered the question, but tell us about your
Yeah,
experience.
so I would definitely want to go hang gliding. I think that'd be super cool. So when I went skydiving, it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. And I took my dad. He's always wanted to go. And so we had a family trip to California. We were in San Diego. I found a skydiving place there. And they took us up to like 14,000 feet. And we were overlooking the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. And that was like the coolest thing ever because you can just like look at the beach where the ocean is meeting California. It was awesome. And like a lot of the same feelings of like, it's scary to jump out of the plane. I made my dad go first, and he was like pale as a ghost. He was the first guy to jump out of the plane. And I was just like, "That's you got it." And just like his face, I don't know if I've ever seen his face just expressionless.
Wow.
There was no expression at all. He was just like, "I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go." And they do the whole rocking thing to go out of the door.
Yep.
Got it, 1, 2, and then okay. Straight over. And that, I feel like, is the most anxiety-producing part of the whole experience is this, just like the initial, just gotta fall out of the plane. But then when you're falling, it's just, you're not falling, you're floating,
Yeah.
and the air is one thing I remember, that kind of freaked me out. Just all the cold air rushing and hitting you in the face, it's hard to take a deep breath. It's like when you stick your head out of a car window in the cold or something. Hard to get that full deep breath. So that freaked me out, but then when I kind of slowed myself down and thought about it, I was good, and it was a ton of fun.
That's
Okay.
Yeah. He opened the chute, and that does hurt, and then he started like twisting us around, and we were going in circles and stuff. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
You know what the scariest moment was for me? It actually, so, you know, the moment of like first leaning forward is very scary, but even scarier than that, I was fine, because keep in mind, I'm on a first date, right? So I'm like, you know, I'm trying to, yeah, you know, I got this.
No big deal.
So we're flying up, you know, I'm like, yeah, this is cool, you know, 2,000 feet, 5,000 feet, yeah, 7,000 feet, yeah, 10,000. They opened the door, and I was like,
Yeah. Okay.
This is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets
'Cause you're not-
real loud, gets real
It
cold.
gets real loud, real cold, and you're not supposed to open the door.
Whoa, whoa.
Wait a minute. What are you doing that for?
All
Yeah.
the cool went out the door.
Yeah. What about you?
Um,
Or has this changed your perspective?
no, not at all. Yeah, if I had to choose, it would definitely be like paragliding, or what's the other one?
Hang
Hang gliding, yeah. So my friend lives in San Diego, and that's where she does all the diving. She's part of a group, they do like the formations.
Yeah.
And, I mean, she has all these beautiful pictures of her dive. But because of COVID, she took up hang gliding. Her group, 2 people got COVID, and so they can't get in a plane together. They can't, you know.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, what do I do now that I have this addiction? And so now she loves hang gliding. And she said she's learned to catch currents over the ocean, and she can do it for like an hour.
What?
And so that sounds much more peaceful to me. She said sometimes she'll even get like into part of a flock of birds.
That seems terrifying.
Because she can watch how they know where the currents are.
Yeah.
See, if my mouth comes down a little bit, then it pops. If I have it in just the right place, anyway. Yeah, so she's like learning a lot from birds,
Huh.
and
Interesting.
she had like a spiritual awakening out there.
Mhm.
She and I have been talking a lot more about God. And we grew up together going to church, that's how I know her. We went to camp together, we were roommates in college together. And she's always, I said, considered herself a Christian, but hasn't been to church much in the last 10 years, just hasn't found a place. She has a daughter that she wants to take to church, but this experience has really stirred in her something that is holy. And so that has made me more curious about it. I don't have any desire to jump out of a perfectly good airplane, but I might hang glide. I might do it with someone, you can do it in tandem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because I'd be interested to see statistics on like relative safety of the two.
Yeah.
Because actually,
Statistics?
I feel like more can go wrong hang gliding than because with a parachute, it's like, if the parachute doesn't open, that's really bad, okay? But other than that, like if the parachute opens, like at that point, whatever you do, like it's gonna take you down pretty slow. But a hang glider, like steered incorrectly or something, like you have to fly the thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Wind shear will get you.
Wind shear,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
yeah.
That sounds bad.
That sounds bad.
I don't like that idea.
I used to kite surf. And it's so interesting, like I don't think I really had a true respect for the power of the wind until I started doing that. Because you have these big kites, and basically what kite surfing is, you fly a kite and you ride a board, like a surfboard, and the kite tows you out on the water, right? And you steer the kite.
It's a big kite.
It's a very big kite.
Yes.
It depends on how windy it is, but either way, I mean, even like the smallest ones are big, right? And yeah, there are videos of people who catch a gust and it takes them up, and they just keep going. People that have gone like a couple thousand feet in the air, yeah,
Oh.
because they got caught in an updraft and just kept going. Fortunately, all the ones of those that I've seen, like the people were skilled enough that they just kind of, okay, I'm just gonna ride this out, try to steer, evenly and take my time, and they made it back down. So,
I'm not gonna wear my glasses. All right.
all right, what you got?
Next question. Can you tell I don't wear my glasses and my mask very often? Not good at it. If you could make a 20-second phone call to yourself at any point in your past, when would you call and what would you say?
Wow. See, this gets into deep space-time continuum things,
Yeah.
Back to the Future and Umbrella Academy and all this stuff.
Butterfly effect too, right?
That's the question, right? Like, would you tell yourself something that would potentially change anything about your life? Understanding that if you did, it might change more than you intend to change, right? Like it could have hurt some bad thing that happened in your life, but that's going to change you in and of itself, right? Ooh.
Do you want me to go? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I had more time with this question, obviously. I have the same concern that I would alter my future some way that wouldn't be good. And I think I am a firm believer these days, the older I get, that there's not much about my life I would change because I've learned so much. I have hopefully some wisdom from that, and pain can be a teacher if we allow it. So I think what I would do is go back to myself at like age 8 or 9 and just say, you don't need to worry.
Mm.
I wouldn't give any specifics, but just don't waste your energy on worry. Yeah.
It's interesting. I think I'm torn with this because it's not even about like a change in your life that might be bad. It's just about does any, okay, how to put it? Even a change in your life that was good makes you something other
Right.
than who you are
Mhm.
right now. I would probably go back to when I was in my early 20s and say, make the most of your time, because I think I've wasted a lot of time, probably in my 20s, early 30s, where now I'm saying, oh, I just wish I have so little time and all these things I want to do. The problem is, again, right, like any of those changes, like if I started, working on some projects or something that I might not otherwise have, would that ultimately change my outcomes? Might I get involved in some project that becomes a career that leads me to a different place and I don't meet my wife?
Right.
Things like that.
I know. Yeah, it would change everything. Your kids, everything. Being here.
Right.
Mhm.
Man, this is a hard one. If I were to call myself, I think that I would, there's two situations, and one feels very similar to like the train of thought you were going down, Amy, with just don't worry. I think the first thing I thought of when you asked the question was, well, I would call myself 3 years ago when Jordan got sick and say, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because if I had that knowledge, that would make that 6 months just so much easier. But also,
How much stronger are you? Because
I
you didn't know
recognize that those 6 months have made me, have a large part made me who I am right now.
Yeah,
So,
that's interesting because I think
yeah.
you are a pretty mature, 26-year-old?
26.
Yeah, you're eons ahead of where I was at 26. I was kind of an idiot, and I worried a lot, and I have compassion for my 26-year-old self, but you're just way more grown up
Well, thanks.
than I was.
Me too. And everybody here could attest to that.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, next question?
Sure. You
Sure.
wouldn't, just to be clear,
Oh.
just to be clear, nobody would go back and tell themselves, like 25 years ago, or I guess a little less for you, 10, 15 years
Like, I
ago,
wouldn't understand.
invest in Amazon.
Right? I know.
Yeah,
but,
seriously.
You'd be like the forest? Did we know about Amazon 20 years ago? I don't know. I don't remember when I learned about it.
No. I
25 years ago, no. But I think we would have carried that with us, and as soon
Maybe.
as we had the opportunity, it's like Back to the Future 2, right? When he got the book with the outcomes of all the sporting events,
Oh,
and he went back and started betting on them.
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your favorite clean joke?
How much does Pirate pay to get his ear pierced? A buccaneer! Come on, that's good.
It's
You know,
fine.
you know Andrew Moran, right?
Huh?
Andrew's favorite, she always told this joke, it was, what's brown and sticky?
Stick.
A stick.
It's good.
That's funny.
That's good.
We're all like, that's good.
Come
Justin's
on,
joke.
Andrew's joke.
I like the way your delivery is, your enthusiasm, like you believe in the joke, but don't.
And there it is.
But it's not.
joke that I always remember. I don't even know if it's that funny, but like, it's the one that I can remember. So there's an airplane. There's 3 guys on this airplane. The airplane's going down though because it's too heavy. So it's going down, and everybody makes the decision. Okay, you have to throw something out to see if the plane can like level out. And if it doesn't, then you have to jump. They have parachutes, so they're good. So the first guy has something that he loves. It's a watermelon. He loves watermelon. So he tosses out the plane, puts on his parachute, he jumps out. When he gets to the ground, he sees a little boy. The little boy there is crying. He asks the little boy, "Why are you crying?" The kid says, "Well, a watermelon fell from the sky and hit me in the head." It's like, "Oh, sorry, that was me. It was an issue."
Was this crying child dead?
No, it's a joke.
Okay.
Come
okay.
on, Jess.
All right.
Second guy loves tacos, so he throws all of his tacos out of the plane. Then puts on his parachute,
That's sad.
jumps out. I know, right? Gets to the ground, and a little girl is standing there crying. He asks the little girl, "Why are you crying?" "Well, all these tacos started falling from the sky and hitting me." And he says, "Oh, sorry, that's my fault. My fault." Third guy loves pyrotechnics. So he has a grenade. He tosses it out the plane, puts on his parachute, jumps out, gets to the ground and sees an old lady laughing. He asks the old lady, "Why are you laughing?" She says, "Well, I farted and my house blew up."
That's pretty funny. Your part jokes are funny.
It's a joke.
Okay, well, my longest standing joke, which is the first one, like, honestly, probably, yeah, it's my favorite joke.
Okay.
It's a fart joke.
Good.
But then I have another joke that's really contextually appropriate for today. So first, my favorite, I started telling this joke when I was like 5. What's invisible and smells like worms? A bird fart. That's funny.
Nobody laughed. That's funny.
You better laugh at that. And then in our family, like, over time, we had iterations of that joke, like, whatever you ate for breakfast, or like, what's invisible and smells like Cheerios. An awesome fart. Yeah. Okay. Did you know that 72% of all statistics are made up? That's a joke.
I like non-punchline jokes. I like that.
Just leave it hanging.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't look at you guys. I'm real bad at that. My delivery is terrible. But
Yeah. There was a
See, I get put on the spot to tell jokes, and I'm just like, I don't know any anymore. Now that you asked me, it's just like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keith, what's your favorite clean joke?
Oh, I really don't know jokes. I'm not funny.
You know who's funny?
Sorry.
Let me tell you who to ask. If you want a joke.
Is that funny? That I'm not funny?
Terry Kinney.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Terry Kinney. If you know, like, hey, Terry, tell a joke.
Really?
He'll
I'm
come
gonna
with
do it.
one, and he could do that 500 times without using the same joke.
Because he's a rocket scientist.
He's a rocket scientist. No joke. He's got it. Like the men's prayer group, like, typically ends with a joke, whoever's leading the devotional that day. But sometimes, like, oh, I didn't bring a joke today, whatever. Terry? And he just comes with one.
That's incredible.
It's pretty awesome, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a joke, and I'm like, I got nothing.
Really?
Well, I know a racetrack joke but it's not that funny.
It's not a racist joke, so that's good.
No. So, how do you become a millionaire with racehorses? Start with 10 million.
That's
I
funny.
do like that.
It's like an old-timer racehorse joke.
All right.
Yeah.
That's intelligent.
Right, old-timers sitting around the racetrack drinking their coffee at
Right.
3:30 in the morning. That's the joke they tell.
So the Shea might not be coming. I don't know if they have, like, it's the Shea's birthday. Shh. And I don't know if, like, they might have plans this morning or something, brunch with a friend.
Maybe got
I was
Starbucks.
hoping that they would be here so we could sing. If they don't come, we should just sing anyway and then play it for them later.
Yeah.
Something.
Something.
Yeah.
Hey,
If we break into song, that's why.
is that all your questions? You
No.
got one more? Oh,
I have
okay.
another one.
Nice.
All right. We've been more efficient today, I feel like, with
Yeah.
our
That's
question
true.
answer. Part of that may be that Deshay's not here. Because that'd be a fourth person, and it
Yeah.
takes over.
Yeah, that's why.
You're very efficient, Deshay. I'm not saying that you're inefficient. I'm saying.
So
Just saying.
I've heard people say something like this lately about the election. No matter who wins, God is in control. Do you agree or disagree? What does that mean to you?
Wow. Now we're gonna be here all day.
Right? Are you going to pop that one out when we just have like a few minutes left?
Right.
Yes and no,
Could have felt that.
right? Like, no, I don't think that, God somehow, manipulated us into voting a certain way so that a certain candidate would win the election, and so that God is in control in that way. Yes, I agree that we are all held in this amazing, timeless thing that God is doing, and that God's perspective is much bigger than ours, that God can use brokenness and challenge and messiness to create beauty in unexpected ways over time, in God's timing, right? So yes, we are held by a God who is much greater than we, and in that sense, God is in control. No, I don't think that God is a puppeteer manipulating the election to make it go the way that God wants to.
All of that, yes, all of that. And I also think that, so one of the issues that I have with that phrase in general is this idea that in some sense it can excuse us, right? Well, no matter what happens, God is in control. Well, that means so that I don't have to do anything. I don't have to worry, I don't have to whatever, right? And so I think that's an issue that I have with that phrase. So God is in control, but we, as part of God's creation, are called into the work that God is doing.
That's how God's doing it, right?
Right,
It's
right,
it's
right.
through us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think we have to be careful with that kind of phrase so that we don't excuse ourselves from action.
We did that whole sermon series, I think last year on, does the Bible say that, right? And one of them was everything happens for a reason, right? And there are, we talked about the seeds of truth in that, just like the other ones, but also a list of things, and I won't remember them all, but a list of problematic things that statement sometimes creates.
Mm-hmm.
The one you just named was one of them.
Yeah.
Another one that sometimes happens is that people will look at that, say, oh, God's in control, or everything happens for a reason, and give up, right? Say, oh, I'm clearly defeated. All hope is lost because God wants this or something,
Right.
and just give up. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate both of those perspectives. I kind of want to tinker with the idea of control, because I think it's really a human concept. I don't think God has any need to control. That's silly. Like, God is God, the great I am. God is. And we're the only ones worried about control. And I think it oftentimes is the case that we are trying to place human attributes and our limited understanding of life and the fullness of it into a little tiny container that we call God.
Yeah.
And the longer I'm alive, the more I have a sense that God looks a lot more like surrender and gentleness and receptivity and trust than anything like control. But these are things that we say when we just don't know what to say. And I've said plenty of stupid things and blamed God for a lot of things that I don't think God had anything to do with. But I don't know. I think I'm learning just when I don't know what to say, it probably means not to say much at all.
So another possible name for this, this thing that we're doing here, that might fit is receptivity, trust, and bird farts. Potential podcast name.
Yeah, I agree.
Or invisible worm. I don't know. Yeah.
Or invisible worm. Oh no.
I
We've actually got time for one more.
don't know. Okay.
Amazingly.
Um,
Wait. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Deshay. Happy birthday to you.
Oh my goodness, the harmony!
on Channel 4.
And Scooby-Doo on Channel 2.
And Frankenstein on Channel 9. I used to know all of them. Wicked Witch on Channel 6.
Are you older and wiser?
Definitely older. I don't know about wiser, but every day seems to be that I learn something new. That doesn't make me wise, not quite, but I'm doing less ridiculous things in my life if that counts.
Oh, that's actually really appropriate because we're talking about ridiculousness
Oh.
today.
Fun.
Yes. Also, would you rather go skydiving or hang gliding?
Do I have an instructor in each one of those situations?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, hang gliding.
Okay.
Like, I want to feel like a bird, but also like both of them. See? I've also had many chances to. Like, I grew up with a kid in my class who was one of the youngest pilots. I'm not going to say the world, but he was 15 or 16 when he got his, I think it was 16 when he got his pilot's license and flew, like, reconstructed a plane and then flew it.
Oh my goodness.
And so him and his dad were the ones that owned the, what's called Rapid Descent, and that was the skydiving place in Hannibal.
That's an interesting name.
Rapid.
So like,
Not too rapid.
I was like, hopefully not, but I was like, I had to.
Joyful
Jumps.
jumps. Yeah.
How are you on this birthday?
I am well, or as one of my may she rest in peace and rise in glory, but one of my adoptive grandmothers would say, I am blessed by the best. And so it has been a nice morning. I woke up in new sheets because I bought a whole new sloth bed set.
Alright.
So
Mask.
I do have that. I was like, it's rare that I buy anything sloth for me. Everybody else actually buys into it. So like my addiction doesn't actually, I don't do it. Everybody else enables it. But I bought a new set and I bought a new TV, so it was nice to actually have a TV.
Wow.
So I, was, like I said, wake up to that. I was slightly insulted this morning though, because I was born at 6:05 a.m. And I can't forget that because for over a decade of my life, as long as I've had a cell phone, my mom and my aunt will call me at 6:05 every year. Does not matter, like in college, all of that, even having a roommate, I know it, and I get up at about, I'd get up at about 6 o'clock or 5:45, just so that way I could go into the common space in my suite, so I wouldn't wake up my roommate.
Yeah.
So then my body just kind of naturally on my birthday gets up closer to 6 o'clock. Well, it did, and I saw no calls, no texts. I got like a Facebook thing from my mom, but I'm like, I don't know half the time if you're like on this or hacked, but I'm pretty sure it's just her. And so I was like, well, they didn't call me. That's okay, I'm going back to sleep. and then they called me about 8 o'clock this morning. Both of them, actually. Auntie called first, and then as soon as Auntie finished singing to me and talking, Mom called her right in the middle. So they still called me, and they both sang to me, and I was proud of my mom. She held more of a pitch this year.
Okay.
My musical abilities or singing does not come from my mother. She knows that. She's one of those people that, like, her singing is, I love her. She makes a joyful sound.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, but she's also one of those that will accidentally harmonize and doesn't even know it. And so I'll hear her singing to somebody that'll be like Whitney Houston or Patti LaBelle, and then I just hear a harmony out of nowhere, and I'm like, that wasn't wrong.
Is it an actual harmony, or is it just a different?
No, it's an actual harmony. That's the irritating part. I'm like, that wasn't a bad line.
We're running it.
It's like, could she? No. But I love my mommy, and I know her strengths. So.
What's your favorite clean joke?
There's a lot of
That doesn't matter.
them. You know, teacher. What's the difference between a piano and a fish? Justin, you look like you know.
Something about tuning. Tune a fish, tune a piano.
Oh,
Oh, dang it.
oh,
Okay.
you did it.
Oh!
It's like you, yeah.
You can't do the fish? Is that-
I was like, I mean, like, technically it can go two different ways. It can either talk about scales or you can talk about, but the joke is, you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish.
Oh, Amy.
On your birthday, too.
It's the shit's birthday.
What a jerk I
I
am.
have another one.
Okay, but I'm not even gonna...
Well, if you know it, that'd be fine. You ready?
Okay.
It's kind of more like an anti-joke. I used to love this. What did one muffin say to the other muffin? Boy, it's hot in here. And the other muffin says, holy crap, a talking muffin.
Favorite joke. That was a good joke. Now that.
It was like, we used to do that in high school band all the time. It's just in the lulls where there was nothing going on, like our bass clarinetist would just sit there, she's like, what did one muffin say to the other? I'm like, ma'am, mind you, this human is probably one of the most fierce instrumentalists and was a state-based clarinetist. And then she just tells those jokes. And I'm like, who are you? What are you?
A talking muffin.
It's just like, it's like,
That's brilliant.
it's like, this doesn't make sense why I'm so happy, but.
That is a perfect joke. I really love that joke.
Oh, thank you. Feel free to use it.
This was my favorite joke in high school. Ask me if I'm a truck.
Are you a truck?
No.
I hate them. it's like, hey, ask me, am I a tree?
Are you a tree?
No.
A little different emphasis, okay.
It's just in the face. What did I miss?
Oh.
I'm like, you don't have to give me a recap.
This and that. We did one theological question and
That's dangerous.
3 or 4 less so.
We talked about how late we stayed up watching the election.
Oh.
Did you stay up?
I did not. For my own mental health and kind of also knowing
That we wouldn't know.
Exactly. I'm like, it's like given that, I'm like, I'm gonna give myself. This week I've taken off academically, for the sake of my birthday, but also for the sake of my mental health and other things going on. So as my birthday falls around election time, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I keep little bits of information. I check for a second. I kind of see updates, but for the most part,
Okay.
yeah.
Can I actually ask you to do this?
Yeah.
Have you already sent out the email?
No, I have not
Okay,
yet.
Then never mind.
Oh.
I was going to ask you to share with us what the plan is, but I think it needs to go to the choir first.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
So,
Nerd.
with that in
I
mind,
have more questions.
you have one more?
Well,
You got 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Ask when we can answer it.
That's
oh, what's the luckiest thing that's ever happened to you?
Wow.
Not dying.
How do you define lucky?
Right?
I don't know.
Like, most providential, most unexpected.
You say.
Mm,
Can I be like sickly sweet, but also like not wrong?
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is really cheesy, and I'm kind of okay with it because it's my birthday. I feel really lucky to have the mom that I have. As a person that walks alongside me in understanding my own identity, and from the get-go would know that my identity will always be in conversation and question, because part of it has been, there are parts of it that have not always been accessible. And so this person decided to continue with the journey of a tiny human and watch this tiny human grow. Not so tiny anymore. I'm still but I'm an extremely complex human. And yet I have the mom that I do that walks alongside me that, for the most part, is pretty affirming. So I love her lots. It's extremely random chance.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I feel like, see, now you've painted us into a corner, right? Like, I love you too, Mom. I love you too. Also, like, I'm very lucky to have the spouse I have.
Yep.
Whatever. It can be.
I'm not worried about that one.
It has to
You
be.
found $100 on the street. It could be whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if finding
Yeah.
$100 on the street was luckier than finding Jamie, I'm gonna be in trouble.
No.
Get out,
Go ahead and put your disclaimer in.
right?
That
Hey, we had our 8th anniversary,
Oh, happy anniversary.
Hey.
When is it?
November 2nd. So
Okay.
Oh.
Monday.
Monday was our
Yeah.
anniversary. Yep. Yep. 8 years.
Old married people.
Oh.
Yeah, which means we've been together over 10.
Wow.
Ooh.
So,
That's great.
yep. Yep. Very lucky. Also,
No,
That's the luckiest. Second luckiest.
well, you know, it's funny. I have a friend who's the luckiest person I know. My friend Marcus, just like lives on a lucky star. He was 12 years old, and you have to be 12 to get into the bingo hall with your
yes.
grandma.
Mhm.
And so he'd been wanting to go, and Grandma said, okay, I'll take you on your 12th birthday. So he went to see her in San Antonio. She took him to the bingo hall. First night, $10,000. He won 10 grand.
What?
At 12. And so then he was like, I want to go again.
Bingo's fun.
And his parents were like, okay, you know, Marcus, you got to understand, like, that's probably never going to happen again, statistically. You know, so you can go play with your grandma. It'll be good to spend time with her, but you need to set your expectations accordingly. And he went back and he won $3,000 the second time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Where's this bingo at?
I know, yeah.
That's
Right?
The magical bingo parlor in the sky.
hello. I would like bingo, please.
Heavenly bingo.
Austin, what you got?
I'm really lucky that my parachute opened.
So both of these guys have jumped out of planes.
It was a first date for me.
It was not that for me.
Why am I not surprised at any of that whatsoever? Like, honestly.
You didn't notice the same intensity on the can-jam court in there?
Maybe do another can-jam.
Yeah, we need to play some kick jam. But if we're also talking about like lovey-dovey, sappy, lucky, I'm lucky to have Jordan, but also we were a high school couple, so I feel like there's actually some real luck there
That
that
is
we
so
stayed
fair.
together
Yeah.
through high school into college. and got
Yeah.
married.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all were kids.
So
Baby.
yeah.
Still
That's
baby.
amazing.
I mean, I'm lucky to, you know, talk about, we've had a lot of conversation about privilege, you know, in the last
Yeah.
year. And I mean, gosh, lucky to have the parents that I had, that had the resources that they had. Not that they were, you know, uber wealthy or anything, but they were reasonably comfortable. And, you know, I got to travel a lot as a kid. I mean, it's all lucky. right? That's all, it's all privilege. It just came out of, you know, happening to be born to whom I was when I was where I was, and as I was.
You're making, there's a theological question that I have, probably for the next time. But be thinking about the difference between luck, blessing, and privilege.
All right.
Great question.
As soon as you said that, I'm
Stay
like,
tuned for next
I was like,
week.
okay, Justin, come on and preach. I'm listening.
Let's hold that.
To be continued. Dun, dun,
To be
dun.
continued. Let's hold that for next week.
I love
Can that be
that.
our question?
Luck,
Well,
blessing, and
Well,
privilege.
Luck, blessing, and privilege.
Like,
We'll have to wait though if you, because you can always make it here by 10:30, so we'll wait till you get here, and then we'll go with that question.
yeah.
All right. Well, I feel blessed and privileged and lucky to have had this opportunity to be with all of you, and you, Heath, and you. As if anybody's actually watching this today on the day after election day. Yes, the camera.
Lovely. I'm not running this time.
It's only the second time I had to walk off like that. The first time was when I told my joke and nobody laughed.
Oh, wait a minute, what was it?
How much does a pirate pay to get their ear pierced?
A buccaneer?
Yeah. Funny.
It's funny. It's funny.
Thank you.
It's funny. If you say it's funny and nobody laughs,
COVID high five.
sorry.
Arr!
It is Cranberry Pirates.
I was like,
that's all.
technically,
Uh-huh.
because, you know, sign language.
Uh,
Wah, wah. Hold on.
Everybody's walking off.
That's what I do every time somebody tells a bad joke.
Play, are you allowed to play Happy Birthday to yourself so we can sing it one more time? Okay. Woo!
What key are y'all gonna sing in? Because I bet y'all use
Sing in the comments.
Choose it.
I pick it.
Sing
It's
it.
your birthday.
This key is usually high, so it's fine.
Amen.
I got weird at the end.
I love Amy's soprano note.
Right?
Thank you, friends.
Take a bow for that.
Bye.
Bye.
No weird friend.
I was like, I'm not running today.
Camera's still rolling.
It is. It's a good walk-off credit scene. I know that.
No weapon may be formed, but it won't prosper.
Oh, John.
When the darkness falls, it won't prevail. My throne triumph. My God will never fail. My God will never fail. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. There's power in the mighty name of Jesus. Every war he wages, he will win. I'm not backing down from any giant. I know how this story ends. I know how this story ends. see a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory, I'm gonna see a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. Oh, you take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. Oh, you take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory, for the battle